start with my channel, most merciful and most compassionate. My dear friends, as you all can see, that today we are going to talk about one of the most important and most interesting English grammar, which is called phrasal verbs. But before talking about phrasal verbs, I would like to ask you all, same like usual, to like my video, subscribe my YouTube channel, and not forget to do one of the most important thing in my YouTube channel, press the bell icon. Because by pressing the bell icon, you can receive all notifications of my new videos. Okay, my dear all friends, something else that always my students are mentioning, the teacher, we cannot comment. If you want to comment in my videos, you can create channel first. After that, you can write your comments. Okay, my dear all friends, let's start our lecture. As I mentioned, the lecture is grammatical lecture, and the lecture is about phrasal verbs, one of the most interesting and most important English grammar. As you all know, my dear all friends, many recent videos which uploaded by me, they were about phrases. Phrase for agreeing, phrase for disagreeing, phrase for saying thank you, or phrase for saying welcome. Okay, lots of students ask me, teacher, you talked about phrases. Okay, now on, I'm gonna explain what is phrase. What is phrase and how can we simply define it? What is phrase? Phrase is, or phrasal verbs, or those verbs when a verb is preceded a particle can be preposition, a particle can be an adverb, they are called phrasal verbs. Also we can say when a verb is followed with a particle, it means a particle can be a preposition, sometimes or rarely often a particle can be an adverb. When a verb is following with a particle, a preposition or an adverb, on the time we can call them a phrasal verb. Also we can say a phrasal verbs are those verbs when a group of words comes together and they mean as a verb, on the time we can call them a phrasal verb. There are many types of phrasal verb. It means that generally we can say that there are five important types in phrasal verbs. But also something else that I want to mention, my dear friends, when someone asks you about the separating phrases, or that time we can say that the phrases are divided into two main parts, which are called separable phrasal verbs. It means those phrasal verbs that we have the ability to separate them, and non-separable phrasal verbs, or those phrasal verbs that we are not able to separate them. It means there is no possibility of separating them. For example, the second one, which is separable, and also the third one, which is non-separable. It means there are some phrasal verbs that we can separate them. Also, we have a few phrasal verbs that there is no possibility of separating. For example, turn on. Turn on is the phrasal verb that we can separate it. For example, turn on the TV. In this place, we use the verb with a particle together. Also, we can separate the particle from the verb. For example, we can say that turn the TV on. Simple. And the next one is non-separable phrasal verb. Non-separable phrasal verb, there are those phrasal verbs that there is no possibility of separating. For example, stand up, sit down. And stand up and sit down, there is no way of separating them. Okay, if someone asks us about the phrasal verb with having an object on the tongue, we can divide the phrasal verbs in three other divisions. We can see that there are three other types of phrasal verbs with having an object, which are intransitive, two object, and also transitive. It means some phrasal verbs can have one object, some phrasal verb can have two objects, and some phrasal verbs can have can come without any object, which we also can call them intransitive. It means when the phrasal verbs are coming without any object or no object on the time, we can call them intransitive. For example, hurry up, stand up, sit down. And when a phrasal verb comes with two objects on the time, we can call them two objects phrasal verbs. For example, I will keep you on your promise. In this sentence, in this example, there are two objects. The first object, which is direct one, and the second one, which is the indirect one. This is called, because we have two objects, we can say that this phrasal verb is a two object phrasal verb. And the fifth type of phrasal verb is called transitive one. The transitive phrasal verbs are those phrasal verbs that they have only one object. For example, I will turn the TV on. We can see that this is separable as well. Also, we can say because it only has one object, we also can call them the transitive one because it has an object. Okay, my dear all friends, it was our previous lecture about phrasal verbs. As you all mentioned to make a lecture, you all asked me to prepare a lecture or present a lecture about phrasal verbs. So far I present this lecture for all those viewers that they suggested me to present a lecture about phrasal verbs. I hope you enjoyed and learned some new things from our previous lecture. Do not forget, my dear all friends, to like my video, subscribe my YouTube channel, and also press the icon of my YouTube channel to receive all the notifications of my new videos. In case of facing with any suggestion, any complaints, or any question, you can write it down in my video comment section. Take care of yourself, my dear all friends. Stay at home, be safe. Allah Hafiz.